Yesterday, Carney had a telephone call with Maria Corina Machado. That is the opposition politician who was also awarded the Nobel Peace Prize this year for her work. She lives outside, in hiding, actually, and they had that telephone call from an undisclosed location. And in that call, they kind of endorsed some of the messages that Carney has already come out with in response to Maduro's arrest. That is denouncing him as a brutal, oppressive dictator and referring to possible involvement in the drug trade. But at the same time, not openly endorsing the way that he was arrested, with the American Special Forces going into Caracas to seize Maduro and his wife, and also not kind of getting on side with Trump's position on how he is planning to run the country in the short term. Carney and Machado both releasing the statement saying that ultimately this transition to a new regime in Venezuela should be done democratically. That is, the people of Venezuela should be able to vote on who their new leader is. So it's kind of a tightrope he's got to walk, and Carney cannot. He's got to kind of be sort of on side with some of our allies, the Europeans, but cannot openly contradict Trump on this because of the sensitivity of the situation and, of course, the trade dispute we're in with Trump's White House right now. Is he doing this properly? Well, let's go to Ben Rowswell, who is a longtime Canadian experienced diplomat. He'd been the ambassador to Afghanistan and more recently ambassador to Venezuela. This is a guy who's got a lot of experience. He was on breakfast television this morning. Listen to what he said about how Carney is handling this.
I think the statements that Prime Minister Carney has already made, reaching out to Maria Corina Machado, who is the sort of beloved leader that the Venezuelans want to see in charge, sends an important signal to Washington that we want to see a democratic transition quite quickly. I'll be looking for a quick return of her, plus a man named Edmundo Gonzalez, who was elected by a massive landslide very recently, for them to return to Caracas and to take over the reins of power. Until that happens, there has been no transition. There's still a hardcore, socialist, corrupt, human rights abusing government very much in power. They've lost their president, but everything else about the state structure is totally intact.
So that's a rosy picture that Ben Rowswell points out as the idea that we would have this democratic transition and someone like Machado taking power in Venezuela. Really unclear at this point, though, whether the Americans want to get behind that plan. Everything we've heard from Donald Trump since the arrest suggests no, that he does not support her. And one of the reasons why he doesn't support her, according to reporting in the Washington Post today, Karen, is that she did not turn down the Nobel Peace Prize when she was awarded it last year and give it and insist that it be given to Donald Trump. Apparently, I mean, it's unbelievable to hear this, but according to the Washington Post reporting, citing multiple sources, that was Trump's response, and so that he does not see a role for her in the future of Venezuela, even though she's having these meetings with other world leaders, including Mark Carney.